Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to start today's video maybe from a sad note, but I hope it gets better. But I wanted to talk to you guys about my 2024 so far. I'm one of those people who is a strong believer in, positivity, being optimistic. But I've got to be honest, my 2024 has been a tough one so far. So we started out the year by being sick, my husband and I. It wasn't anything too serious, I guess, but it did last a while. I'm still recovering from it, and it may seem like not that big of a deal to some of you, but actually my husband and I are extremely active people. We got sick, we both were pretty much bedridden for a whole week, which in my 10 plus years of knowing him has never happened. Either he's sick and I'm taking care of him, or I'm sick and he's taking care of me. But both of us being bedridden, having high fevers, that's just never happened before. So that was not an easy start to the year for us. It happened in the beginning of the year in January, and like I said, it's February now and I'm still recovering from like the cough. And then after that, my husband is a business owner and he's had some issues in his business. I want to say these are seemingly bad issues because we look at it as it may seem bad, but it could be a blessing in disguise type of situation. So we're trying to stay optimistic about these things. Next, I had some really uncomfortable situations with some family members that I'd rather not talk about on here, but it's just some unpleasant moments. And lastly, and this is probably, and I apologize if there are tears in this video because I hate crying by myself in front of a camera. One of the worst things that has happened to me in not just this year, but in the last few years, I would say, is just a few days ago, we lost our cat, my little baby Hunter. If you have pets, if you don't have pets, I don't know if you'll ever understand me. If you have pets, I think you do. That boy was my baby, my whole entire heart. Hunter became my baby. Like, we cuddled every single day. We spent so much time together. He had such a big personality. I'm sorry. It's just really sad, but he ended up getting sick so suddenly and we had to put him to sleep the day that we found out that he was sick because he was suffering. He was in a lot of pain, and that just happened a few days ago. And so I couldn't just continue filming videos and acting like nothing is going on. And I just don't want to pretend like this whole thing didn't happen. So I do want to honor him by talking about him. His absence is felt so strongly because he, like I said, had a huge personality. The house feels quiet. The house feels empty. I don't like being at home right now. It's incredibly depressing. But I've got to add that despite all these difficult life experiences that we have gone through so far in just a few weeks of this year, I find that I'm actually genuinely a happy person. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how can one continue to be happy despite the circumstances in their life. And that's just the gift of my Hunter, because even after he is gone, he's still teaching me so many lessons and he is still blessing my life. So the reason number one that I am a happy person is my relationships with other people. So this entire experience of loss opened my eyes to how important relationships are, how crucial they can be in times that you need other people. I am a strong believer that relationships with other people, be it your family members, your siblings, your parents, your spouse, your friends, relationships can make or break you depending on how healthy they are. And so today I'm talking specifically about healthy relationships. And I want to say that I am very proud right now, having gone through this loss. I am very proud of my relationship with my husband, the way he supported me through this loss, the way he opened up to me and how vulnerable he allowed himself to be with me, how I could just be myself with him and he accepted and supported me so easily, so effortlessly. That really made me understand how blessed we both are to have each other, how lucky we are to have found this support system in each other. And I couldn't imagine going through this type of an experience of loss alone without him. And I'm talking about this because I think modern relationships lost the sentiment of just respecting and admiring your partner, of just saying, hey, I am incredibly lucky to have you in my life. And I tell my husband all the time that he is my gift from God. God just gifted him to me. I don't know if I deserve him, but I am so grateful to have him in my life. And I just don't see a lot of young women talk this way about their partners, boyfriends, spouses, and it just makes me really sad. So that's why I'm focusing on it so much. It starts with you. It's important to find the value in your life partner. Moreover, my mom and my sister have shown me so much support through this. My mom never really understood the idea of pets. She never had pets. She never wanted pets. I really didn't think she was going to understand the pain that I was going through with losing Hunter, but she stepped up and she really gave me my space because she knew I needed space. I didn't want to talk to her when I was so sad. The tears, I can't control them. They just come whenever. She understood that and she gave me my space. But at the same time, she does text me every single day, checks on me. And it's just really impressed me how involved she is with my emotions, how understanding she is. And my sister, that's a whole nother thing. My sister has been incredibly supportive and I'm so blessed to have a sister like her. She is the sweetest, nicest person ever. And she allowed me to be so vulnerable with her that even though we're super close, I think our relationship went to another level. And so I could say that this experience has strengthened my relationship with people who matter most. And I'm so grateful for that. And that's why I say that I am a happy person despite whatever I'm going through. In fact, what I'm going through is showing me how blessed I am. And so that leads me to my next point, which is healthy boundaries. When I was introduced to this idea of healthy boundaries or boundaries in general, I think I, as most people probably do, took it as an excuse or permission to just be narcissistic, to only care about myself, to just start cutting people out of my life. And that's not what I mean here today. What I mean by healthy boundaries is kindly and softly communicating to the other person the lines that they should not cross with you. But there's a flip side to it as well, where you should know your boundaries with other people and you should know when to stop possibly giving advice, or knowing the difference between giving advice and trying to control how another person lives. So like I said, I've had some issues with some family members this year, and God knows I wanted to just say some things to them and tell them how they should behave, but that is not my place whatsoever. They're going through their own life journey. I had to remember that I need to also respect that boundary of not overstepping and not telling them how they should live their life. And a lot of people are afraid to set boundaries with their loved ones because those are usually the people who are afraid of conflict, who don't want any uncomfortable conversations. But not setting boundaries, I found that leads to more conflict and more uncomfortable conversations in the future. So setting your boundaries when things are peaceful and when things are good, I think contribute to your happiness long term. The next thing, this experience of loss has taught my husband and I that we should be kinder to other people. The next day when it happened, I was out of milk for coffee and I went to the grocery store, and that was my first time really being with other people, like in a public place. And I just looked around, I saw all these people, and I thought, wow, this is what we all share as human beings. We all share this idea of losing someone we love, whether it's a pet or a family member or a spouse. And it just made me so much more empathetic to other people. It made me want to be kinder. And I never looked at humanity through that prism. I always just looked at people kind of without care. Not that, I was mean to anyone, but I just didn't care as much. Like, I was kind because that's what they say you should be. That's how you should be with other people. But this time I felt like I want to be kind to people because, oh my God, like if anyone went through what I was going through, it just made me feel so sad for them. It's so funny because that same day, my husband came home from work and he told me the same exact thing. Like, he had the same emotions about it. He said it just made me want to be nicer to people and more patient with people. Being kinder to other people is essential to happiness because it makes us feel more connected. When I go online nowadays, especially on Instagram, I see this, but on YouTube as well, I see this huge movement of like self-care and self-love, or this notion of like you can't pour from an empty cup, so you've got to take care of yourself first. But I think that people who promote this mindset forget that the whole point of taking care of yourself first is so that you can go and take care of others. So you're charging your batteries so that you can go and provide for other people. I also think that self-care is very fleeting. Like, it makes you happy in the moment. So for me, self-care is going to get a massage, taking a warm bath, maybe skipping, making dinner one night and getting takeout. Sometimes it's self-indulgence, like having a piece of chocolate, having a dessert. But these things make me happy for a very quick moment, and then boom, and it's gone. But being kind to others and caring for others, that has long-term consequences. If I'm kind to somebody today, I still feel the effects of that a month later. Now, I would like to add that if you are depressed or incredibly sad, self-care is so crucial in those moments. You have to try to balance out the negative emotions that you are going through and just bringing yourself to a neutral emotional state. So that's why I think self-care is essential in certain situations, but it shouldn't be the only thing you care about. Like, don't let it get to a level of I only care about myself, especially if your aim is to feel happy. The next thing I want to talk about is money. I think a lot of people say that, money for happiness is such an overrated idea. Money is not that important. Money will never make you happy. Money won't buy your happiness. I agree with all of those things because I will tell you, the couple days after I lost Hunter, I didn't care about anything. Like, we had a couple trips planned and I just was like, what's the point? What is the point to go and enjoy life and see the world? In that sense, I could see how this idea of money doesn't buy happiness, I could relate to it. However, what I'm talking about today is having your basic needs met. This experience also taught me that I had the luxury to just stay home and grieve. I didn't have to go anywhere. I had food in the fridge. I could order takeout and I could afford it. I had a home to be in and I didn't have to worry about paying my bills because those basic needs are taken care of. I didn't have to think about going to work. I didn't have to think about, my car breaking down or anything like that. My most basic needs are taken care of, and therefore I can allow myself to grieve a little bit. So I think it's naive to ignore the importance of money in that sense. So no, money doesn't buy you happiness, but money can contribute to your comfort, which could then help contribute to your happiness. The next point I want to talk about is having goals. The first couple of days when we put Hunter to sleep, I felt quite depressed, and depressed may be a strong word, but extremely down, and nothing interested me. Life lost color. I didn't care to look good. I didn't care to brush my hair. I didn't care about the trip that we have planned. I literally didn't care about anything. I stopped looking forward to life and possible exciting experiences. And my husband actually felt the same way, and I think these are the signs of a depressed person. And so by that logic, I assume that a happy person is a person who has something to look forward to, who is excited about life. And so I think to get yourself out of that negative headspace, setting some goals and starting to take action towards those goals can be extremely helpful. I really didn't want to, but I took myself to a coffee shop. I sat down and edited my previous YouTube video. I wrote a script for today's video, and that really got me out of it a little bit. It made me feel a little better. Working towards something is helping me, like it's making me focus on the present moment a little bit more and letting go of my past. So I think working towards something that's important to you, the pursuit of your goals, is hugely correlated with happiness. And lastly, this could be controversial to some, I don't know, but I do want to talk about it because this was crucial for my happiness, and that is believing in God. I am a happy person because I believe in the higher power. I think believing in God brings me so much peace, and also believing in the afterlife, because in my religion, all animals after they die, they go to heaven. And so having this picture in my mind of Hunter being in heaven, running around, enjoying his time, playing with other cats, waiting for us, that brings me so much peace, and it makes me more joyful. Another piece of that is knowing, or maybe believing, not necessarily knowing, I will never know for sure, but believing that this could be a part of God's bigger plan for our life. Maybe losing Hunter was actually a blessing. Maybe it was actually necessary so that other things could come into our life. Like I said, I don't know for sure, but just seeing life through that prism makes me a little bit happier. And another side of spirituality that I want to talk about is gratitude. Just finding things to be grateful for, because yes, it's hard. Yes, it sucks to not have him with us right now, but at the same time, it opened my eyes to the fact that, oh my gosh, like both my parents are still alive. I haven't gone through that loss yet, and thank God for that. My sister is still here. My husband, it just made me feel so grateful for all the other things I have. It made me realize that so many people live in war zones and can't afford basic needs. Like, they probably could care less about losing a pet because they don't have food. They don't know if they're going to survive until next week. My life is pretty good. I'd like to add that whatever we have gone through this year so far taught me one big lesson, and that is that I am the type of person who loves to control everything. I'm a control freak. Like I said, whatever we have gone through this year taught me one lesson, which is control is such an illusion. You think you have your life under your control, and then boom, something so unexpected, so crazy happens to you that you were not prepared for at all, and you have no control over it. So as sad as this may sound, we don't know when our life could be turned 180 degrees. We don't know when it can change in one moment. So that's another reason why I am feeling more grateful today, because I literally don't know what will be taken away from me next. So I'm just trying to cherish every moment with the people that I love, and I'm trying to look at life from a different angle. So these are the reasons why I find that I am a happy person despite the circumstances in my life. I hope you found this video somewhat helpful if you did watch it until the end. I've got to say that I find it so therapeutic to talk about Hunter, to talk about his impact on my life, to really honor him, because not talking about him and just filming my videos without even addressing this big loss felt weird. That boy brought so much joy, so much happiness, so much laughter to our lives. We loved him, and we still love him so much. My goal right now is to never forget him. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to forget him. I want to remember him. I want to cherish him for many years to come. And I don't think I'll ever stop missing him. I miss him so much. So if you have your pets with you, give them a tight hug, show them a lot of love, and thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.